All right, who is Joan and do we like her? Joan Daniels is the main character of the Unfound Anamnesis in the world of Bastunia. She was born to James Daniels and Carrie Daniels, who we're actually going to get a small glimpse of in the very first book. Very interesting character with a lot of backstory. Um, Joan was born into two loving families that were the power couple of Main City. And where we find her in the first book is with a mom that's not there and a dad that she hates. How did that happen? Keep watching this video to find out. I'm Dylan Barr. This is the Unfound Anamnesis YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about this, share, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We want to hear from you as our audience. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what went into Matt and I creating this main character. Creating a main character is tough because the main character is typically not the most loved character in most fiction series. A lot of people love secondary characters, you know, the people that are like the supporting cast, like really close to the supporting cast of the main character. Hermione and Ron, and you know, Dumbledore would be really those secondary characters to Harry Potter. Maybe not so much Dumbledore. And a lot of people really love what we call tertiary characters, which are the really wild, powerful characters that we only see glimpses of that move the story along. Sirius Black, man, he is awesome. We don't see him often, but when he comes in, he plays a big part to progress the plot, to progress Harry's character development. But not a bunch of people are like, Harry Potter, he's my favorite. They like these other characters. And it's because we love the main character, but we also hate them at times. It's because they have what we call conflicting characteristics. And a conflicting characteristic is we almost don't know what path they're going to take. And they're two extreme paths, right? Joan, for instance, she's got this driven, passionate, I'm going to use the word drive again, driven, passionate drive. Fuck off if you're judging me. Driven, passionate drive personality that really wants to seek to learn, to do as much as she can. And one of the best people she can learn from is her dad, who's a beastborn. And she has this resentment towards him, right? There's this conflicting characteristic where if she could learn from her dad, that could help her grow and be the best. Is she going to choose it, or is she going to lean into her hatred towards her father and beastborns, right? So these conflicting characteristics make us love and hate our main character. But at the heart of a main character, you almost want this lesson, this allegory, symbolism that everyone can kind of feel or understand. And for Joan, it's pretty simple. Joan has grown up when her parents, James and Carrie, were loving and there for her and the power couple, being told that she could be the best in the world, having this drive to want to be the best. But at what? She has no calling. So she doesn't know. Am I supposed to be the best explorer? Am I supposed to be the best defender? Am I supposed to be the best builder? I don't know what my calling is. And I hate the people that are born with the privilege to know. What the hell is my calling? What am I here to do? And what we're going to really understand as we follow her in the Unfound Anamnesis, this series, is the reason she doesn't actually know what her calling is not because she doesn't have a beast. She ends up getting the god, right? She still doesn't know what her calling is because it's the god. She doesn't know what her calling is in life because she doesn't know who she is. And I think it's a challenge we see often. And I'm going to speak for myself. I said in the last video that, you know, people seek that what Harry Potter character am I, or what Dungeons and Dragons race am I, or class am I? It's like we want to we have this weird feeling of always wanting to understand who we are. And I'm really guilty. I'm guilty because I love personality types. I've taken a Myers-Briggs, ENFP. I've taken an Enneagram. I'm a 2, or no, I'm sorry, I'm a 7. Um, I've taken Strength Finders, Connections, number 1 strength. And what else have I taken? DISC assessments. Like I've taken so many, and this is not to downplay personality types. Like Carl Jung dedicated his life to understand these personalities, and I think there's a lot of benefits to that. We water it down when we say, then, what Power Ranger are you? But a lot of us nowadays have this drive, and it's a good drive to seek out these personality types, to say, who am I? What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? What am I good at? What should I lean into? What should I avoid? Because we really, but at the core of it is we're really trying to understand, who the hell are we? Because we need to understand who we are to then be able to understand, what the hell am I supposed to do while I'm here? And I think the challenge we live in, and it's why we're writing a comic for young kids, is they think they need to have the answer. I didn't know I wanted to, I kind of knew I could write because my grandma always told me growing up, but I didn't know I wanted to create a world until about 2 years ago. I knew I wanted to write a book 7 years ago, but I didn't know I wanted to create all this and bring this culture, hopefully, by creating this audience, you, and the people that tell people about this, by the way, share it, like, subscribe. I didn't know I wanted to do that until very recently in my life, and I'm 30 years old. So we're going to be able to show through Joan this long series, hopefully, of a young girl like really trying to understand who she is, to really fully understand her calling in life. And you might just see it with the people around her as well. We're so excited to tell you more about Joan, to tell you more about Artie. Everyone loves Artie. To tell you more about James, to tell you more about Buntu, this god, this monkey god that will accompany Joan. Tell you the allegory of his beginnings, where he kind of comes from, of what we've read here in the Unfound Anamnesis. I'm Dylan. It's been such a cool week to be able to give you so much content. Hopefully you've been able to take it all in. If not, take some time this weekend. We love you. We're excited to create this with you. Please reach out, unfoundanamnesis@gmail.com, Unfound Anamnesis on Instagram and on Facebook. Always a pleasure. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.